I am finally glad that we are covering these Sonic racing games. The All-Star racing games are pretty much your Sonic kart races, so if you like kart races like Mario Kart, then I can easily see you getting into this, especially if you're a Sonic fan and especially if you just like Sega characters in general. But you know, I haven't actually played the first game, I've only played the sequel, All-Stars Racing Transformed.
I remember playing the demo before it came out around my cousin's house thinking, you know what, this is pretty fun, but the release for some reason went over my head. It wasn't until All-Stars Racing Transformed came out that I realised there was a first game? So as we go into this review, it will be my first experience with the first game, but I have played All-Stars Transformed, so I'm sure there's not too much difference. I could easily recommend these games because they are like most kart races. The first game is a bit more limited when it comes to content, whereas Transformed is pretty much how do I make the first game better? Add a bunch more stuff. Both games control great. You drift like most kart races and you can perform tricks to gain boosts. You drive through a bunch of different tracks based on some of the Sega games. That's one of the things I like about these games. It's not just Sonic and friends. Sega characters are getting some representation. When you collect an item box in either game, sometimes you will get an All-Stars mode. That character will basically become temporarily invincible, be much faster, and there's a special attack they can use against racers. It's your catch-up item essentially. First time playing though, and the game is fine. I do feel like Transformed is the improved version, but it's not to say the first one isn't good, it's great actually. I think it's just that when you play the sequel and then you go back to the first game, you realize how limited it is. I'd still recommend it though. Both games have a Grand Prix and a set of missions to complete. In All-Stars Racing you gain points by completing game modes, and you can exchange those points to buy characters. So what did All-Stars Racing Transform do differently? The base game is the same, but as said previous, there's much more content added. We have several more characters, for instance like General Winter, Football Manager. Wait, is that Ralph? Huh? Who's Yogscast? And who is Simon Lane? You know, Danica Patrick is my favourite Sega character. We've got more stages, remix tracks, but the main thing here is the transformed part. Depending on your environment, your vehicle will transform to a custom track. For example, if there's a water section coming up, you'll change into a speedboat. If there's no ground at all, you'll be flying through the skies. Now for the most part, except the flight controls, since you can go up and down, they all pretty much feel the same, so you don't have to worry about the controls suddenly changing on you. It's more so how it will affect certain tracks. You go around one lap on the ground and in the next lap you're traversing through water. 1 minute the ground is there and then suddenly it's been blown up by the background objects, so now you have to fly, which changes up the layout a tad. And honestly, I think it's pretty cool. It's harder to hit people in the air though. Once again, we have more missions in the form of World Tour. At times you'll be racing like normal, next thing you know you're doing the track in reverse, getting to the end while avoiding oncoming traffic, or you will be in battle race where you have to eliminate your opponent before they hit you. I still to this day have not beaten all of World Tour mode, so there's plenty to do in this game, but this is how you unlock some of the characters. Also, each version of All-Stars Racing Transformed has an exclusive character. Since I'm playing the PC version, it has Football Manager. Yay! I don't like football. Before the start of a race, there's a slot machine. If you put 5 coins in, you have a chance to gain an item to start off with, a boost, or be less affected by certain items. You collect coins that are placed throughout the tracks. You can also change the difficulty before a race, all the way up to expert. And my god, I struggled on hard, so I hate to see what expert is all about, and I'm a gamer who likes a challenge, but sheesh. All in all, Transform just has the bigger package. If you want more simplicity, then play the first game. If you want more characters, customization and tracks etc, then play Transformed. For me personally, I do think Transformed is the best Sonic racing game we have had so far. That could change with Team Sonic Racing.
Now I could have easily just sat here and be like, hey yo, buy these games because they're good, but that wouldn't be much of a video now, would it? I thought if I compared the two side by side, it would make for a more interesting review. But with that said guys, if you haven't tried any of these games, what are you doing? Transformed is on everything. I would recommend the PC version, which is the one I played. I heard the Wii U version is buggy. Not too sure. I've never had an issue because I used to have the Wii U version actually, but I decided to have the PC version instead. I do think it's a superior version, you know, smoother frame rates, less issues, you know, hardly any loading times, better graphics, all that jazz. So if you can run it, I would highly recommend running the PC version. But we are finally done, guys. At least for now we are done with the racing games until Team Sonic Racing comes out. It's not going to be a day one purchase for me, and that's not because I'm not interested, it's just because, well, video games are expensive, man. So it's going to be a little while before I'm able to pick it up, but I will pick it up at some point. But don't go anywhere, guys, because there will be videos on Team Sonic Racing, and if you're just a fan of Sonic in general, I'm definitely going to be covering the normal Sonic games and reviews and 5 reasons to play and all that jazz, so don't worry. There's going to be plenty of Sonic content coming for you guys in the near future, so I'd highly recommend sticking around if you do enjoy the content. I really appreciate it. But with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy it, maybe throw us a like, maybe subscribe so you can keep up to date with all that jazz, although I know the subscriber button's broken, so I don't know. Either way, if you did enjoy it, I really appreciate it. And comment down below, do you have a favourite Sonic racing game? Or if you just have a favourite racing game in general, whatever it may be, let me know in the comment section below. I'm interested to see what people class as like the best racing game. Yeah. Alright guys, cheers for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.